We've talked about how to solve an equation that has variables on both sides, but what if you've also got decimals in there too? So let's take a look at this one. Now, my preference is to go through and clear all those decimals so we don't have to worry about multiplying and dividing and adding and subtracting with such ugly numbers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply to clear all of these decimals out. So what we do is we go through first and we count what's the most times that I would need to move the decimal over in order to turn each of these into integers. So this first one here that I'm looking at, I would need to move to the right 2 times to turn that into a whole number. The second one here, I would need to move my decimal to the right again 2 times. 0.15, I would need to move to the right 2 times. And then the 0.08, I would need to move to the right 2 times. So all of these I would need to multiply by a number that moves the decimal to the right 2 spaces. So I'm going to multiply everything by 100. 1 with 2 zeros after it. Each 0 represents a space that we're moving our decimal. So I'm going to take the entire equation and multiply everything by 100. So I need to multiply everything on the left by 100, and I need to multiply everything on the right by 100. Now keep in mind with the parentheses, we only need to multiply the number in front of the parentheses. We don't need to also distribute the 100 into those parentheses. So I'm going to take my 100 and multiply by the negative 0.02, by the 0.25, and then on the right side by the 0.15 and the 0.08. Each of these just moves the decimal to the right 2 spaces. So when I move to the right 2 spaces for that first one, I get -2 and the parentheses stay the same. Minus, I move the decimal to the right 2 times and just get the number 25. On the right hand side, 0.15 becomes 15, and the 0.08 becomes just 8. So now I don't have any more decimals. My numbers are nice and pretty, and this is pretty straightforward. So what we're going to do from here is look at the left side and simplify as far as we can, and then look at the right side and simplify as much as we can. On the left side, I see some distribution that I can do, so I'm going to take this -2 and distribute that into my parentheses. And then on the right-hand side, I also see some distribution I can do, so I multiply that 15 in. Now I just combine like terms. I can combine these two and these two together. And now you decide where you want your variables. Generally, we like them on the left, but there's no problem with your variables being on the right. In fact, some people would actually prefer that in this situation because if you move all your variables to the right, they're going to have a positive number in front, a positive coefficient. But I just prefer to have things on the left, so I'm going to go ahead and take this entire 15x term and subtract it over to the left-hand side. So I subtract 15x from both sides, and I'll combine like terms, so I'll be combining it with the -10x. Now that I have my variables on the left, I want everything else on the right. So all my constants need to be on the right-hand side. So I add 13. And now I can go ahead and do my division. Remember that 2 negatives make a positive, so this just becomes positive 10 over 25. I will reduce my fraction. I can divide both of those numbers by 5. So when I divide by 5 in the numerator, I get 2, and in the denominator, I get 5. So my solution here is positive 2/5. Remember, you don't have to clear those decimals. If you prefer to just distribute the decimals and then do the math with the decimals, that's perfectly fine. But my preference is to go through and clear them so we only have to work with integers, and then at the end we see our answer as a fraction. Hope that helped. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.